Hey, welcome to the Evercade podcast, where Crow is a bird. Hey, everybody.
I'm
How are
a
you guys?
bird.
The bird is the word.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How are you guys doing? How was your week? Crow turned into a bird.
Oh, you're weird. You're weird.
Oh my god.
Am
Oh my
I wasn't aware.
god.
Oh, you're just a strange man.
I should put up a poll. Who's weirder, me or Crow? It'd be funny.
Actually, this whole bird thing, that's just out of context. I actually found this picture off of an Amazon listing. It's just part of the Amazon listing, and this was like kind of like the punchline to the whole thing that made me laugh about it for like 3 days straight. I was showing Edit earlier, and I think he understands where I'm coming from.
Yeah. Now I think you might have to. I think you might have to show the full thing if you want to.
Oh, I don't know. You want me to show it now? You want me?
I think you have to because people are like,
I have to.
Here. Yeah, I think you.
Actually, no. You don't need to zoom in on me. I just need to refine the listing again.
You just share it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm going to share it. I'm not going to, just like I did before.
Yeah. Because it adds more context. Because I think that's.
Okay, so let me send, share screen, application window. There.
And keep in mind, people, this is a real Amazon.
Yeah, so this is. I was looking for straps. We have these raccoons that are getting in our garbage. So I was looking for straps, and I ran across this one, and right off the bat, it's cracking me up because why can't I? Okay. It's cracking me up because, first of all, like this is Photoshop to begin with. Not only that, but the strap that they're selling is Photoshopped onto the garbage can. The thing isn't even this long. There's no way it's going to reach from here to here at the length it is. But I was kind of looking through here, and we get to these images down here. I'm going to zoom in because what really got me is down here. Scroll over to the side here. And now let me.
Please stand by.
Okay, let's see here. Why is it not? I was showing it earlier, and I wasn't having a problem. But okay, that's why, because I was too far down. Okay. So over in the side here. So we got the same image with the squirrel, obviously photoshopped. But these images down here, where we got the raccoons, guys, big problem. And then the next one, gosh, strap. And then this is the next one, I'm a bird. And so, like, I don't know, like, are people having problems with the birds getting in their garbage? And also, this picture, this is the only picture where the birds are not having a problem getting into the garbage because the strap isn't on it. So did the birds remove the strap? But like it's kind of like a Ralph. This is kind of like a Ralph Wiggum thing. It's like all these have to do with the strap, and then the last one is like I'm a bird. So I was just laughing about this for days, and you know what?
That's a shirt, or it needs to be.
Yeah, and you know what's the funniest thing is it worked because I bought the straps.
Yeah, it worked. Hopefully Pete will come back and we'll see if Gandalf comes in here. But yeah, no. Had to share. All right. While we're waiting on people to come back, let's say hi to the chat, see what channel members we have. And speaking, we got Lloyd. Lloyd R. Jim. That's right. Said your name right. Got another channel member, Fan of Fiction, and we have the one, the only. He's no joke. It's Gene. Oh no. We have Nathan Foster.
It is a joke, Gene. Gene joke.
Should be Gene Teljoke.
Not Gene. No joke.
Got Archive Gig. Got channel member GF in the house. Trash Simulator. Hey, yeah, Geek Dorian. Trash Simulator.
At this point, I'm going to search. I'm probably going to find a Trash Simulator on Steam.
Welcome back, Pete. Damn internet.
Yes, there's a pickup trash simulator remastered on Steam, and it's free.
Of course. There's an everything simulator on Steam. Oh my goodness.
There's a soda drinker simulator on Steam.
Soda drinker?
Yeah.
Are you done?
I'm never done. You know that.
Like, are you done? So yeah, I was gonna say one of those weeks I couldn't find any news, other than
Oh no, they were just a big interview. I actually found something up between Andrew and the new guy from them. They had a big letter and they're talking about direction and eventually going to have hardware that runs PS3 and 360, PS2 games and stuff. You never read that?
So wait, they're going to have new hardware next year, probably.
Yeah, well, they're tapped out right now on hardware for the 32, 64-bit era, and they can see potentially down the road doing, what they want to get into is like up to like PS2, PS3 stuff. So they mentioned that in their letter. Did you guys not read that? How did I get ahead of you guys this week?
I don't really. I miss a lot of stuff. I only pay attention if it's somebody posting.
You guys. I actually read it. Him and the new guy that came in with Tomb Raider.
The one with Funstock, but there was no mention of that in the Funstock one.
No, it was they just released it. Oh my gosh. I read it this morning.
Oh, was it this morning?
No, it was an interview that Andrew Byatt interview with the guy who's the new guy they brought into the team. I saw that. Pete sounds brilliant. What do you mean? What? I always sound bright.
Yeah. Look on the blog. Yeah, if you have the link or something to share, that would be cool.
Yeah, Andrew Byatt and Dan Wheatley met with MCV Develop Elope on Evercade's success in the retail plans for expanding retro consoles. Yeah, so they've got a lot of stuff there. I'll put it to you in a private link.
But here's the thing.
I thought you'd be all over it, man. You're slacking.
No.
I'm almost a little disappointed that they would be coming out with more powerful.
No, they never said that. They never said they're coming out with new ones. They said they're tapped out and they eventually could see themselves going into other stuff. Maybe I misread it. So like he goes like, it's just a 3. There will be a time in 3 or 4 years when the hardware will be upgraded. The chips will be cheaper and they will be able to do PlayStation 3 and Xbox games. So you'll march in a step with the industry as it gets older.
So they're saying in 3 to 4 years in Evercade.
Oh, okay. I was like, don't tell me they're doing that next year because it's going to fail.
Which I don't know if I'm that interested in because the hardware that's out now is plenty good enough to play the games I want to play.
Yeah, I know.
And I wonder if they came out with a newer hardware in 3 to 4 years, if one, it would have to be backwards compatible with all the existing cartridges, and 2, it's like, would they still?
No, they probably wouldn't. They would probably, if I were them, if they do the PS2, Xbox, GameCube era, that's just a separate set, and so Gen 1 would be what they're currently doing, and their Generation 2 would be the new stuff. Why did they need to make it backwards compatible?
Because how am I supposed to play all the old stuff on the new
hardware?
I
know.
You won't. No, you won't need to play it on new hardware. You got your existing hardware.
Yeah, but I want to have both things hooked up.
Well, then you will buy both.
What if you have a handheld? You have to bring both handhelds if you want to play both?
I think we're speculating too much here.
I honestly think if there was new hardware with higher specs, it would have to play the older stuff as well.
To be honest, I don't want PS3 and Xbox. I'd rather have like PS2 and Dreamcast.
Yeah, I think it must have been a typo because somebody mentioned that. I think it was Rob mentioned that. I think it's probably a typo. They probably meant PS2 because why would they jump an entire generation that now has been retro for the last couple of years? Right?
I think they're just saying that. I just think they're just saying it would be powerful enough to play PlayStation 3 games.
So that means maybe we are only 1 year away from an Xbox, Dreamcast, GameCube, PS2. I would love that because those games are starting to get ridiculously expensive. Like Xbox, there's a run on Xbox.
No reason. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, there's no reason for it not to be backwards.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, well,
yeah,
what I mean by
emulation
backwards
or
compatible-
store or a cart slot. Like they could that's so cheap, right? But
well, think about like no, is emulation?
I'm
but
always
still,
right, Nick.
But like what I mean
See-
by that is like you could physically take the cartridge and put it into the new device. Like, what if they
Yeah.
made a different cartridge size and you literally could not fit the cartridge in the new device?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just interested. I'm just the fact that I found this, the guy who never pays attention to news, sort of last year, and Ed didn't see it. So Ed is
No.
slipping. We caught Ed slipping.
I mean, I've never even heard of this website.
Me neither. It popped up in my Facebook feed because my Facebook feed only ever goes to 5 places, and Evercade happens to be one of them.
I'm not on Facebook. I got rid of that.
Well, I'm on Facebook for Marketplace. I'm trying to buy some toys for my kids. Well, for my one kid, trying to buy.
No, but this should this should be like on their blog. They should at least have like a link to it or something.
Yeah.
What's funny is I stopped going to Facebook when I realized I was finding the advertisements more interesting than anything anybody else had to say.
The Marketplace is cool though. I use it for the Marketplace. There's some really good deals on there. Like, I can't be bothered to pay retail for stuff. I have to get it secondhand and cheap.
So no, that's I guess like I think that the thing with I guess it's kind of neat that Blaze is thinking that, but in a way it's still concerned. Like I guess I want to have a year where Blaze can prove that they have it together. Like have their carts on time.
That ship is sailed, dude. That ship is sailed. What are you 12? Like, do you believe in Santa? Like that ship is sailed, man. They're gonna constantly fumble the ball, but that's okay. I'm okay with that.
It's okay if you fumble the ball, but as long as you recover it, you know?
Well, in fairness, I think they've done a really good job in recovering, like having games stolen, and like I think they've done all right.
I'm still waiting, and I'll be waiting forever for Asteroids Deluxe to be fixed.
I think
that is the biggest thing that nobody that was and yeah, it may not be their fault that they didn't get the right ROM from Atari, but nobody noticed that it wasn't the right game.
Yeah. Whatever.
Stuff like they haven't fixed Donut Dodo, and it's just like, and all that type.
What's wrong with Donut Dodo?
The whole pause where the screen is pausing. I haven't tried it yet. Even
I made a video on that. Yeah, it's irritating, especially if you're trying to like speed run the game. It like, and not only that, when we had it on the VS and EXP as Game of the Month, it didn't have those issues. You don't have those issues on Super Pocket or OG.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
For me, I think like Blaze has done all right. I think they've recovered. They've made mistakes. It's okay.
I agree with you,
has been recovered
because they need to. I want them to focus on licenses. I don't want them to be like, oh well, we've given up on this era because we can't get licenses. We're going to make another. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But there's so many more up to the like 32-bit era that they could get. We'll have to, because then the problem is if they do emulate those type of things, are they just gonna have like one PS2 game on a cart? I don't know. Maybe that would be
probably would be on a cart.
And again, I don't think we're gonna see PS2 games unless they come out with new hardware.
That's what I mean. I think they are. They're a hardware company, right? So I think they're gonna constantly put hardware out.
Well, who are they? The hardware company, or is Hyper Megatech the hardware company?
I don't know.
True.
I have no idea.
But
I still don't know the split.
Speculation. It's all speculation. I think what would get me excited is I want Blaze to do something truly innovative, something different, and I try to be positive. We'll see if they're capable. You know what I mean?
Well, they are doing something different with the arcade units. That's pretty different, right?
Kind of.
Just because it's different doesn't mean it would be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how different can they be? They're still just a retro redo company, right? Like, what else can they do outside of licenses and new hardware, right? Like, they have nothing else they can do in that space. That's their two things: new collections, new hardware. Like, that's all they can do.
They could do a lot, like leaderboards, profiles.
Yeah, I don't think
Okay,
they're big enough to do that. Like they don't have.
look at
That's a lot of infrastructure, I think.
look at what they missed out. What I think it's My Arcade is coming out with that Atari 2600 thing that's got the D-pad, it's got the spinner, it's got the
Mhm.
trackball built into it.
The
Why
thing
don't
we
they just
asked for the longest time on this show,
yeah,
like
and
an
it's coming from
all-in-one.
and it's coming from somebody else.
Yeah, I know. Will it be compatible with Evercade?
Probably not. Because
Yeah.
I think it's just a standalone handheld device.
It is. Yeah, it won't be. Yeah, because it's like that's what I mean. Like Evercade should have a version of that with like a bigger
But
screen.
even
That would be
even if it did have a USB that you could plug into the Evercade, it still wouldn't work because we could plug a keyboard, we could plug a mouse into the Evercade.
Yeah.
They don't work. They could make it so it works, but they don't.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I mean. There's so much more they could do, like certain type of controls working. Maybe find a cheaper way to get like light guns, something like that. Like, stick with that.
I don't know how they're gonna do light guns without making them like $100 per light gun.
If they could do $100 with a light gun and a cart bundled in, I think that would be viable. If it's not like too crappy.
Because those well, let's see here. They would have to have mouse support because a lot of those light guns that you could get, basically when you plug them in, it really thinks it's like a mouse cursor.
True.
And it's basically adjusting your aim by gyro sensors in the controller. You're pointing down, it knows you're pointing down. Move the mouse cursor down.
True.
Which reminds me, I need to get those things.
Right. But the key, kind of looking at that, they definitely have to wait for the hardware to become cheaper, because they don't want to get into who knows like Switch 2 price, like the next gen handheld prices or anything
like
else.
Even this,
So we'll see. I mean,
it's
exciting the possibilities, but
this remote I've had this thing for a long time, maybe 10 years, and you could hook this up with like a phone or anything, and it acts like a mouse cursor just by tilting it and moving it. That's basically how those light guns work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, what do you call it? What is the name of that company? Polymega's making a light gun, and it's going to be like it's $100. I pre-ordered it, so I'll get that in about 5 years, but still.
Well, there you go.
You'll get it in 5 years when there's other variants out there for half the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, is it a market people are craving to get into, right? Like, I don't think so, right? It doesn't feel like it is.
What, the light gun? It's a certain niche. It's a niche of
yeah,
a
niche. It's a big niche, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. I hear people.
I'm not craving a light gun. Like, I just getting it because, hey, I got some light gun games, but I'm not actively looking for a solution for that.
If we get light gun games, we have to get Namco back so we can get the Point Blank games on Evercade.
I want, or Time Cop games. Like, there's a lot of the Terminator games, stuff like that.
Time Crisis. That's that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I care that much about the Terminator 2 arcade game because that second level was like I could never get past the second level in that anyway. Where you have
but if it came out on the Evercade, you would because of save states. And endless continue.
Honestly, I didn't think that level was all that fun. It's not something I would want to play.
Okay.
Or who knows? Maybe they'll make a full size Evercade cabinet with like a 4 or 6 cart changer. I don't know, but that takes a lot of.
I can't buy that. I don't have room for that. I have no more room for anything.
I think the biggest issue, and I'll make a video on this if we don't get news next week, is that I feel like this year Blaze has lost a lot of momentum. Like we have cool stuff, and then 4 months of nothing. Like they need to keep the hype like going. You know what I mean? They need to keep, or people lose interest and kind of forget.
Yeah, I think people like you lose interest because your channels is built around it. Like me, this is normal for me. Like I've never relied on them to do anything. So for me, this feels normal to me. They always have a couple months delay. They have a dearth of time where there's nothing happening. Usually it's January through March, April. So yeah, I'm okay. Sure. I'm used to this.
Yeah, no, I mean that's true. But if I didn't, and I think I've said this, but if I didn't have a channel around it, I may have lost interest in Evercade. Like I wouldn't blame people for bailing out because it's like, dude, give us.
But I think if you're that person, you're the majority of people in Evercade because you're plugged into the Evercade because of the show and you're a core part of the community. Like a
Yeah,
few
yeah.
people are, but the majority of people are not like us. They're just coming and going as they go and waiting for the news cycle to tell them something to go buy that might interest them.
Yeah.
That's
And
basically how it goes, right?
there's already a ton of stuff out there. I mean, you still can play through Cathedral.
Yep. I'm still going back and playing my like this is the two collections I've just been messing
They have
around
to
with. I've
fix
been
that.
playing
They won't.
Pico
So.
4 again. I've been playing Sunsoft 2. I had Indie Heroes 3 up, so I'm still going back and playing a bunch of old games.
Like I'm still not caught up. I'm still 4 cartridges out. Like, and if I'm playing 4 games a week, I won't be done with Indie Heroes Collection 3 for another 2 or 3 weeks.
Waiting on Konami. Well, let's just say there was a point in time where like Evercade was my main console. I didn't play much else except for PS4.
Yeah, but things change. Things always change. Because like since then you've gotten the Steam Deck, for example, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, to fill in the gaps, like waiting between. But that's
a lot of these indie games, if not all of the indie games that you're playing on the Evercade, you could also just have bought off of Steam.
True.
Play them on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, but it's the physical media though, and it's like I wouldn't like Full Void. I never would have bought that if it wasn't on Evercade.
Exactly. You know. It's like that's the thing though. It's like
it's like
you have to almost hear from word of mouth. And yeah, I guess that's one way for the indie companies to get their game out there is to actually get a physical release of it. So people, because that doesn't happen that often, even though it's happening more often than it used to.
Well, it happens quite a bit. Like with super rare games, like I think it's opposite.
Yes,
like it happens a lot more than
it happens a lot. But what percentage of indie games out there are actually getting physical releases? There's probably like for every indie game that gets a physical release, there's probably like 20 to 50 that don't.
True. But that's where I'm hoping, because Blaze started to go. I hope they bring their focus back to indie games, kind of like they did last year. Because I think doing that and doing remasters, I think that's what puts them on the map. Having a physical copy of it, arcade. You know, but
like you say, like if you're into this just for curation and just to like hear about games that you wouldn't normally have heard of. I mean, you can. It doesn't cost you anything to pay attention to what's getting released on Evercade and then finding it on Steam.
Yeah, but then it's more expensive on Steam. I'd rather have the whole experience, right?
Getting it. You say that, but it might. In some cases, it's not. Especially if you wait for the game to go on sale.
Oh, hey, he inspired you to get a Steam Deck OLED.
I don't know how I did that with the video I put out because the video that I put out on the Steam Deck, I only turned it on for like the last like 2 or 3 minutes, and I didn't even do anything with it. I just turned it on to see if it turned on. I didn't even like log into it or anything. But I could definitely tell that I'm enjoying the OLED more than I would have enjoyed the LCD. It really just the screen just pops out on that thing.
Here's what's weird. That like, and maybe the camera doesn't do it justice, but when I see stuff like an OLED screen, it looks a little bit more saturated, and I don't know if I would like that. Like, I don't.
Trust me, it's different in person than it is looking. Because you're looking. Here's the thing: is you're looking at film of an OLED screen on a non-OLED monitor.
Yeah.
So you're not even seeing like what an OLED screen would. Have you ever seen an OLED screen? Have you ever like this? I would recommend next time you're like I would recommend next time you're like at a store like Best Buy where they sell TVs, maybe even a Walmart, just take a look and see OLED screens.
I think maybe I have, but even I don't know, like I saw a mod where you could like modify like the Super Nintendo like 2-chip models to look a little bit better, and they're saying it's a big difference, and I can notice a little bit of it, like a little bit of a difference. Like with OLED, I noticed like the blacks are darker instead of the grays, but I guess you have to decide.
Again, it's the type of video output you're putting that Super Nintendo to. Also, whether or not you're putting it through like a FrameMeister or something like that too, where you're gonna get those. See,
maybe I don't know what I'm missing. maybe it's a good.
Honestly, for something like the Super Nintendo, it's unless you're playing it on a CRT, then that's because that's what the games were designed to be play on. I know a lot of people don't have CRTs anymore, and I just as rather play on like a regular monitor or whatever through emulation. But unless you're playing on the original hardware with a CRT, then you're not actually seeing what the game was intended to be seen as.
See, I don't know. I disagree with it because it's like I don't think they intended it. That was just the technology at the time, right?
Yeah, that was the technology at the time, and that's how they designed the games to look.
Maybe I don't know because like they just, they
think about like PlayStation games, and when you see the FMV in those, and you're playing it like through emulation or something like that, you see it's all like pixelated, and the video quality isn't look that good, but it was perfectly serviceable if you watched it on a CRT.
I think it's the lower resolution. I think it's the
lower resolution.
Yeah, maybe that. Not as much like the scan lines, maybe that. But
plus, you've got overscan and things like that. So there's things that were not intended to be seen, but once you emulate it around the borders, now you can see more.
But you can play like Game Boy in 4K, and it looks fabulous.
But that's different because that's just dot matrix. That's just literally a handheld device that had dots that could show one of 4 shades of gray or green or whatever. But CRTs are a little bit different. You've got the phosphors and the way they glow and the interaction between that and the combination. That's why there's a lot of like with the Sega Genesis, the transparency. It didn't have any transparencies. They used this mesh effect. And that's something that didn't really stand out on a CRT. But you play these games emulated, and all you see are these mesh objects that were used for transparencies, and it stands out more than it did when you saw it on CRT. Not only that, but like CRTs, the response rate, your response time between the controller and the TV, that's a lot less than it ever was with even, I think, emulation in your monitors of today, because there's a lot of digital processing that goes on. That's why like a game like Beatmania, I could never play it on like an LCD or something. Like I had to play on a CRT because it just by the time that the game you saw when you need to hit the button, by the time you hit the button, it was more accurate than when you hit the button playing on an LCD or anything like that, because by the time you hit the button, that image you saw was already delayed.
Gone. Yeah, it depends on the game and on the emulation and all that stuff. And if you're like going for speed running, where like having a frame makes a difference and all that. But no, I'm glad you brought that news, Pete. That's interesting to see. But definitely, I think that they'll wait for things to get cheaper, and we'll see where. I just my only concern is I hope they're not just like, well, we're just gonna kind of coast through and not do anything innovative until that comes out. Like, dang it.
No, because if they're talking about 3 or 4 years, there's no way they're gonna sit and do nothing but release cartridges.
But you guys stop thinking the guys everybody needs to realize they're a hardware company, so they're gonna constantly put out new hardware and a few software collections. But it's 4 years now. Every year there's new hardware. That's what they are. So, they're not gonna just solely focus on software because there's more money in hardware. I'm okay with that. They do them until they bore me out of existence. I'm okay with whatever they do.
Sure. No, and I understand that, but I think that maybe they need to hire some more people or get more resources or maybe they just need to be better organized. I think they're fine. I have no problem with them. I think that's it. Well, we'll see. I think and I'll just say 4 months waiting for new carts is ridiculous.
Well, they just waited. They just hired a new guy. That was the whole article. He's working on distribution, and he's working on securing new partners. That's what he's exactly doing. That's if you read the article, that's his focus of the entire article is him trying to get on store shelves in North America and securing new partners, right? Because he was a part of the industry with Tomb Raider, so he has a lot of contacts.
No, I get that, but people can write anything. I'll believe it when I see them do it, right?
Now you're just turning into super skeptical. You can't be that.
like words are like, no, I'm serious. Like I'm more of like a man of action. Like words are like meaningless. Like show me you can do it, and then I'll be like, okay, you're cool. So we'll see. It's good stuff. I mean, I guess it's good to know that they have a plan. But yeah, I think that's definitely a typo. I'm like PS3. I'm like,
no, in 3 or 4 years, I believe it that they would be putting out hardware that could play a PS3 game.
Yeah. But like, yeah, but they're skipping over like Saturn, PS2.
The implication is that it would also be able to play those things.
Yeah. But maybe they feel like they can get better licensing. Maybe that's.
I'll be right back.
He'll be right back. Well, then we can't talk about like the next collections. Since Beings took over as store releases. Yeah, no, but it is kind of interesting though. Like it should be like my channel is dedicated to like Evercade, but nothing new. Like nothing new has been coming out. Well, I guess I've been doing a balance of that, like on stream or Evercade adjacent.
Yep, diversify or die, man. That's all I can tell you. Diversify or die.
Yeah, it's not as much that. It's more of like what I have fun playing, right? Like even on Steam, like
well, that's what it's supposed to be about. What the hell are you doing it for if it's not about fun stuff, dude? Come on.
Exactly. Even older games, I won't necessarily go back and play. Sometimes I will go back. It just, you know what I mean? Like for me, I got into the Evercade, the ecosystem. I think maybe I'm not alone in this. That I think there's a percentage of people who got into it because we like the new shiny. We like getting the physical thing in the mail. You know, it's like Christmas, right? It's and it's affordable, and you can plug it in, and you can connect it to HDMI, and you don't have to like worry about nonsense.
I guess it's like Christmas if I don't want my Christmas presents for a week.
Yeah, well, you're weird in that. Just waiting patiently. Yeah, and it's not like I don't have like stuff to play or anything else. And yes, there's other things in life more important I have to worry about. But it's like we're talking about Evercade, so it's it's interesting to see. No, I would like what I would still like them to come out with is a better handheld. Something that maybe it's like a little bit bigger of like, and it has like the form factor of an SP, doesn't turn on instantly. It's like comfortable, something.
You want something that fits in your pocket, but when you pull it out, the screen expands to 5 times its size.
Well, no, actually, I know what they should like. I know. See, and again,
what?
I like.
What'd you say?
Like,
okay. He says he wants a better handheld.
Yeah. I'll be more specific, and this is where I feel like it's a missed opportunity for Blaze, right? Is that like you see that people put out like shells for like the game, like for like the DMG Game Boy and all. They even put like Nintendo's logo on it, right? I'm not saying Blaze should do that, but like with like the height of Tetris and all that, I feel like why not have like that's what I mean. Like why not have a Super Pocket that looks like a Game Boy DMG that has like a 3-inch, 3.5-inch screen that has like Tetris on it, something like something like that, dude.
You're saying that they're going to be able to get Nintendo's version of Game Boy Tetris on the Evercade?
Well, Nintendo doesn't own that. It's the Tetris company that owns.
I don't think the Tetris company owns Nintendo's published version of Tetris,
or even a good version of Tetris would still be fine, right? That's just kind of like one example. Like, dude, like that's really popular. I get that they're wanting to try to promote and to get into the arcade, but then that's where I go, and I'll have to talk about this more. But again, if I were in charge of Blaze, I would have started off the year strong. I would have announced the Evercade Alpha. I would have come out of the gate with the arcade carts and all that. I think that would have been better. I would have fixed the logistics problem that they've had for the last 3 years, and just like that still doesn't make sense to me.
Did you put in your application to be the CEO of Blaze Entertainment?
Maybe I should. No. It's more of like
Tetris everywhere. That's all you get.
Yeah.
Right.
This week we're releasing Tetris, and then
next
week we're releasing Tetris.
It's being like, I guess the biggest issue that I kind of have, they're more of a reactive company than a proactive company. That's that's kind of the issue. It's like you know that you've had these logistic problems.
How are they not being proactive? What are they reacting to?
Because like they're like okay, like they're still not being proactive in fixing like the logistic issue. Like we thought they had resolved all those, right?
That would be a reactive thing that they're not reacting to. The fact
no,
that
they're being reactive, and that they're just like saying, "Hey, sorry guys, you have to wait until the end of August because we screwed up." That's you know what I mean. That's what I mean. Like instead of being able to forecast, right? Like that's and I think that's the one thing I really hope Blaze accountable for. You've been doing this for 4 years now. Forecast stuff, plan ahead. If you knew, have multiple suppliers, whatever. You know what I mean?
I don't know really, because like again, I'm not part of that. I don't work in that kind of industry, so I don't know if this production delay is necessarily solely their fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say it's not their fault, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think they have any control over what happens in China or Malaysia or wherever it's getting built.
Not that part, but they have control over the planning, right? And I think...
Well, what if they had the plan, okay, and they talked to their vendor, and the vendor said, "Oh yeah, we'll get you your order by this date," and they're okay, so they plan for that, and then a couple months later, the vendor comes back and says, "We're having production problems. We're not going to be able to get you your item, your order for like another month." So what can they do except push back a month?
That's where you split it. Maybe have multiple vendors, or find one that's more reliable.
How cost efficient is it to have more than one vendor create one product for you?
That I don't know. I only go by like what I see and kind of like watch on like Shark Tank with stuff like that. Where they're like, yes, we've had problems. I'm just saying.
Okay, first thing, don't watch Shark Tank.
I'm just saying, Blaze has had 4 years to figure this out, and like a pattern. Like a pattern.
Like all you could do is if you have a vendor and they're constantly giving you the wrong information, the wrong dates, all you can do is find another vendor. I don't think you find like 3 vendors and then you tell. That's like if I needed to have my driveway work done resealed, and I called 4 different companies and told them all that they're hired. Like they can each do a portion of the driveway.
But here's the bigger problem, and it goes back to they're a hardware focused company. It's the issue is the fact that they bundled the consoles with the games, right? Like if they didn't bundle the consoles with the games, then they could have just said the consoles are delayed and we could have had the games separately.
What about the people that bought the consoles? Like,
no. Like, listen.
So you're saying that they shouldn't bundle the games with the consoles at all?
Well, it's one of those. Well, it's one of those things, right? Where you sell more if you bundle the game with the console. I get that. That's normal. Like somebody does want to buy a game, but it's a balancing act, right? Just tap out. I don't know. That's my only thing. Like they're not new to this. They're not new to this business and all that. And it's just.
Besides, I think from their perspective, it's better just to delay everything by a month.
Well, they have to. Yeah.
Or not give release dates and just surprise announce stuff. Hey, it's for pre-order now, and you get it tomorrow.
Yeah,
I don't really care. I'm tired of discussing this on this show. I'm like,
actually, yeah, maybe the solution is just not to announce anything that's upcoming, and just only announce it when it's available now.
Sure, we can move on, but I'll say it's not a month though. It's like we've been waiting 4 months for the car. That's what I'm saying. Or what they could have done was be like, hey, let's let everybody pre-order the arcade carts now. That's what they could have. You know what I mean? They could.
But then, you know what that means though? That means no more roadmaps, because they wouldn't be able to tell you anytime anything's coming out.
Well, they've gotten
rid of overrated. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, they are overrated. You can't trust anything that's on those roadmaps.
Yeah. All right, we could do some Team 17. We could do some Team 17.
Oh, I gotta leave in 20 minutes anyway.
I think we could do at least one because there's 4 games left. Let's at least.
I'm just saying, like we could probably get a bunch of them in 20 minutes, depending on what they are. But I'm taking off in 20 minutes.
Yeah. We can do.
All right, this one, bowling.
What are we doing? Bowling?
Bowling.
Yeah, it's just as fun bowling in video games, but it is in real life.
So it's good.
Sure.
I like bowling in real life. You know, I have five college credits in bowling.
So it's kind of the thing. Is this kind of bowling more your cup of tea, or do you like something better like the Atari? Like kind of like simple Atari.
This was okay. In fact, that's literally what I scored this game. I gave it a 6 out of 10 because it's okay. And you see the names of the players there? Can anybody guess who Ryoko is?
No, who is it?
My dog.
Oh.
But it's okay. But to be honest, I prefer. We do have the Atari 2600 bowling, right, on Evercade. Can't remember if that's actually one of the games that we have.
Yeah. No, we do. Yeah, we do.
Honestly, I like that game more, and not because it's necessarily better, but because it's well, maybe it is better because every time you get a strike, the guy flashes and jumps up and down, and I never.
These games never excited me because I'm like, why would I play a bowling game? I just go bowling in real life.
Bowling games. In fact, that's the only reason I boot up Tekken 7 is because it's got a bowling game in it.
Oh, jeez, you're weird, man.
So I can tell you, for me, I like the Atari 2600.
Literally, the first time in existence, somebody said they'd play Tekken 7 for the bowling.
I do. In fact, I've never even played the fighting game part. I've only played the bowling part.
Wow. Okay, note to chat. Remember, you watch his content, and that's what he just said.
That's I'll tell you though, the one thing for me that's I do like the 2600. If I want to do bowling like this, I want a trackball, right? Like that for me, that would be more fun. Otherwise,
well, okay,
give me something.
Yeah. Then we could get, and then there's the Capcom arcade bowling, the old one with the trackball. But to be honest, if we were going to get any bowling game on the Evercade, since we already got the Atari 2600 version, I would want to see League Bowling, the Neo Geo bowling game. That would be my pick.
Okay. Yeah,
Not that to use a trackball, but I like that one.
That's great because it has the simplicity. And that's what I mean. Like this game is it's all right for me. It's not horrible. Simpsons bowling.
Yeah, there's the Simpsons bowling too, but then you'd have to deal with the Simpsons license. Plus, I didn't think the Simpsons bowling was all that great. I did play it in the arcade. Yeah, Tekken 7 Bowl. I bought it for the fighting game too because the bowling was added in additional DLC content. But I didn't actually start playing Tekken 7 until I bought that DLC content. I was like, oh, this has got the bowling in it from Tekken Tag Tournament. And I started playing that.
Nice.
But it's nothing special, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
I just got a strike.
Nice.
Oh, and actually, no, spare because I guttered the first ball.
Guttered the first one.
I put some good English on that ball.
The ultimate bowling game probably is the Wii Sports Bowling.
Yeah.
But that, unless they somehow come out, unless their next Evercade console has motion controls, you're not going to see.
Oh God!
And somehow Nintendo and Nintendo goes out of business. We're not going to see that anymore.
I am so out if that's the case.
Dude.
I like the Wii bowling because you could do the 100-pin one, and then I used to try and do the secret where you make it ride the rail and hit the trigger detonator bomb.
You know, this game's not too bad.
It's not bad, but it's not fantastic. It's kind of it doesn't really have any style, if that's the case. You don't really have colorful characters. You don't have like fancy
just go to a real
animations.
bowling alley. You'll find that.
Yeah, you can get like just staring at the monitors in a real bowling alley is a little bit more exciting than this.
True.
Oh, another spare. I am a rock star on this game. New favorite game. 9 out of 10.
Yeah, Elf Bowling. That free flash game.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's all right. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like it's not
stupid cutter.
It doesn't feel like arcade where it kind of sucks you in, but it's
and again, I still like the Atari 2600 bowling more. Just again, it's pure nostalgia for me, but also like just seeing that guy, dancing, and flashing at the why don't they do that in here? Oh, it'd be really good that they could do on the Evercade right now. 10-pin alley. That'd be a really good bowling game.
Really?
To see on the 10-pin alley. That had really good physics in it, and it had a lot of great characters and a lot of good animations in it. And they actually made an Animaniacs version of it. So there was an Animaniacs 10-pin alley as well. But I still kind of prefer the original. And that could be that logically viable. It depends on who owns ASCII. I think ASCII is the one that put out that game. I'm going to look at that up. Who owns a 10-pin alley? That'd be along with League Bowling on the Neo Geo, 10-pin alley, which was a PS1 game, would be probably one of the best bowling games they could put on the Evercade.
I was gonna say, I never played NES Golf, but I think Mario was like the main character. I remember.
Sort of, yeah, a little bit. There was another version. There were 2 golf games. The NES Tournament Golf was the one that clearly had Mario as the character you played as. I think in the original Golf, the golfer vaguely looked like Mario.
Gotcha.
Ask Games. ASC Games.
Oh, Ask. I was like, Ask Games.
There's ASCII. There's another company, ASCII, ASCII, but they mainly put out hardware. Company shut down 2000. I don't know who owns it. But it's just totally seems like one of those games that could be easy to get. Yeah, I mean, for all I know, Pico could own it.
Pico owns everything.
Yeah.
And my goal in life is to buy Pico.
Oh, I think Gene's saying that's Sony.
Everybody's Golf, but yeah, that's that. I'd love to see Everybody's Golf, but again, that's a Sony.
Okay, this is my new favorite game on Team 17.
Nice.
I'm loving this game.
Were you just down talking bowling not too long ago?
Who
wants to play bowling?
With that? Oh snap! I almost got my really cool spare. I don't even really enjoy bowling in real life, to be honest with you.
I wish I was better at it. I could do it when I was a kid. But...
Well, when I was in college, my average was somewhere around 220. So.
Oh, look at you! Just good at everything.
No, I'm not that good anymore. I haven't bowled in years.
To be honest,
find the right weight.
My favorite thing about a bowling alley was after beating a game, going into the arcade and playing some games as a kid.
Well, I think that's most everybody.
Yeah. Perfect pick up and play. Yeah, it's one of those simple games and all that.
Actually, the score I'm getting now mimics my real score.
Crow's good with balls.
Oh my god, why do I suck so bad at this?
Huh. Team 17 has a game on Steam called Bravery and Greed. Good game, free demo. Put it on my wish list.
Bravery and Greed.
Can't stand mini golf.
There you go. I finished with a 61. That's awesome. I done good.
I think we can move on. I think we've said
I should do a stream tonight just
on
ping bowling.
Do you think Sony would join the Blaze? No. Sony,
all right, what's the next game?
Okay.
Sony's not really being into consumer friendly at the moment.
We have time to do another.
Kingpin, my favorite new game.
All right. So this is my favorite game on the card.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
Yes. Yes. And actually, I think this is one of the best shooters we have console shooters we have on Evercade.
That's a hot take.
Okay. You know what? That is. You're saying I think almost any Toa Plan shoot 'em up is better than this one. To be honest.
Well, I was saying non-arcade
okay, so Earth Defense Force. You'll say this one is better than Earth Defense Force that we had for Super Nintendo?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. I think for me, it has like
Hey,
the nostalgia.
Phantom, stop talking smack.
First dog beat.
Yeah,
but I mean, this really feels like great. It feels like Gradius. That's what I regretted. However, that's
what
really,
it has the same power
yes.
cycle. This one had a problem. It did something different.
It's loose on the controls, I find.
This actually, I was like, for me, I thought it was like I was actually surprised. Like, hey, I didn't feel like any stiffness or any lag or anything.
Well, I gave this one a 7 out of 10, but I can't remember exactly what the issues were with this one.
Yeah. Well, like when I went ahead and I played this, that's for me and like Quack or Quark or whatever were like the reasons to buy it. Like we're worth it to get this cart, like just for like those two games. I thought these were pretty solid. I haven't beat. The problem is though, like a lot of shooters, sometimes I get to a point or a boss where I can't beat it, and then I don't revisit it. I probably should. Maybe I'll try beating this one tonight. But yeah, it was just like a different version of Gradius.
I literally suck at this game.
Oh, that's one of the things I'm literally looking at the script that I had for when I made the video on this. And one of the things I didn't like about this is that if it's highlighting an item that you can select but you don't want to, you're forced to listen to this voice over and over tell you that you can select the power up that you currently have highlighted. So if you just don't want it, you just keep hearing that over and over again. There was another really weird glitch with this one.
I don't remember.
One of the power-ups, you can keep leveling it up, but if you get it at max and then you get destroyed, you can't actually select that power-up again.
See, I didn't have. Then again, I had to use like save states like crazy because this game is tough. Like I haven't tried to 1cc it, so maybe I haven't run into that bug.
Fully power up the weapon is on because the selector remains blacked out. Yeah, that's what I remember. So, yeah, it seems like there's kind of some weird glitches in this game.
It's interesting. It's the special edition. Like I guess because you can actually change like your aircraft and you get like the better one and.
That's another thing though too. This thing that does the weird thing where it's like when you start the game, you don't select your aircraft. You have to go into the options menu first and select your aircraft and then start the game, which is kind of not the norm. But I guess it is the norm for Amiga games.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, 100%.
I wouldn't even say computer games because I've never seen that before until I started playing these Amiga games.
Yeah, or Amiga maybe it's the norm for Amiga then. But yeah, no, this was a welcome surprise to get a shooter like this on here.
But we already had lots of shooters. This is just an Amiga shooter.
Yeah, but it's different enough. But it reminds me a lot of like Gradius. Yeah, and you can press the button. You can remove so you don't see anything else on the screen. So I thought that was interesting. I'm trying to remember if this came out before. I'm pretty sure this was out before Topolin 2. I think.
Let's see here. This is. Wait, which one are we playing? Team 17.
Yeah.
Team 17. No, this came out after both Total Plan 1 and 2. So we already.
Right.
In fact, this came out on May 31st. We had Total Plan 2 the month before.
Okay. Because I played like the hell out of those, and I was still looking for more shoot 'em ups, so that could be why. So I'm trying.
The only thing that this is better than is most of the shooters we got on the C64 collections.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was kind of like the first time I felt like we had like an actual like real like computer game that was a real shooter, not like one of those weird maze shooters. I'm like, oh, I can see this being on a console. Or anything else. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know this.
There's only one computer shoot 'em up I'd actually be looking forward to, and I can't think of it was a DOS one. Oh, what the hell was the name of it? It was really good. I can't remember the name of it, so I know I have it in Steam. Give me a second.
But this was that's what I'm saying. This was a welcome surprise. Like this was actually like a real shooter. I had no issues with the controls. It had a nice power up system. Reminded me a lot of Gradius. So
What the hell was the name of that game? Organized by.
for Project Gets yeah, this was different, right? It was just different. And that's why for me, like I don't know if it's necessarily better than the Toplin shooter, but I had just as much fun like playing them. I mean, do I dare say maybe I would put it alongside? This was like an anomaly, like it shouldn't be on this collection, and it was.
No, I think this fits in perfect. All the games in this collection feel like Amiga games, so to me they're just that's what it fits in perfectly.
Gotcha. See, this one it didn't for me. Maybe that's why I really like. I don't know, since I didn't grow up playing an Amiga, that had that kind of had that arcade feeling for me there. But yeah, you got like bosses and all that stuff.
Anybody remember that game on DOS in the 90s? It was like there was a shareware version of it, but it was top down, vertically scrolling. You collected money in between levels. You could power up certain your weapons.
You described like every game.
It seemed like everybody, but this is a DOS. This is a DOS shoot 'em up, and there wasn't that many of them.
No, yeah.
I'm literally gonna. It's not in the category it should be in Steam, and I know I have it on Steam.
You're having Ed problems where it's like on the tip. It's like on the tip of your tongue, like you don't know.
I think, and it's funny. It's in Steam twice because there's an older version and a newer version.
Tyrant 2000?
No, it's not that one. I want to say it had the word Falcon in it.
Falcon Master.
It wasn't. Oh man, this is messed up. I can't. Okay, so it's got to be. The problem is I'm sorting through like 1,000 games.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's tough.
Well, I mean, we can keep going. I gotta leave really soon, but I'm gonna figure this out before I go.
Yeah, Quack is a great, or Quack, however the hell you say that Pete's playing is a great game. Like I really like that.
Quap? Oh,
yeah.
Quack. Quap is something entirely different. Quap, I think, is more fun than Quack. You know what Quap is, right?
I don't want to ask.
It's a web-based game where you're controlling a guy running, but you control. It's 4 buttons, and with those 4 buttons, all you're doing is controlling his legs. And that's what makes the game incredibly difficult. You have to control each muscle in his legs.
All right. No, thank you.
It's fun.
No, thank you.
It's funny is you get the rhythm of it, and then right in the middle, you have to make him jump a hurdle for no reason.
So Crow, you said you rated this game like a 7 or 8?
Yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10. It's one of the better. It's the thing. It's like the best I could score any game in Team 17 is a 7 out of 10. And this game, I gave this a 7 out of 10, though it was not my favorite game in that collection. 17. Yeah, we already talked about my favorite, and that was All Terrain Racing. So I put this one right behind All Terrain Racing.
Oh wow. Yeah, I saw you guys at that one last week. I think for me, like All Terrain Racing, I was like frustrated by the controls. Of course.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that last week, and you weren't here last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people do have a problem when you're like driving downward and controls are opposite of the way you would actually turn, but I don't really have that problem. In fact, I would have the problem if I had to point in the direction I wanted to turn.
I think overall, it looks like the great thing on this cart is there's enough variety. You know what I mean?
Ah, that's what it is. I found it. Raptor, Call of the Shadows.
Oh, okay. Never heard of that. Never heard of that. He's like, I got it figured.
If they start getting DOS games on the Evercade, that's one we need. Raptor, Call of the Shadows. Who made this?
Yeah, I'd be all for that. I think the tricky thing though is a lot of DOS games have become abandonware, so I think the licensing is kind of tricky on some of those, like who owns it and all that.
Well, it depends on. I'm sure somebody actually does own it, and a lot of games that people say is abandonware isn't actually abandonware. It actually is owned by somebody.
Yeah. No, I would love to see something like a Sierra collection, but we need mouse and keyboard support for that.
You wouldn't need that for this one. You don't. This is solely joystick.
No, I know. No, I know. But I'm saying something like a Sierra collection, you totally would.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm surprised we still don't have mouse support since we got that Delphine collection. They had 2 point-and-click adventure games on it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was fun. And normally I'd say it's fine, but those games had, and we haven't talked about those, haven't we? But those games had spots in them where you needed to move the mouse cursor pretty quickly or you're going to die.
Yeah. Now you're speaking my language. PlayStation version 1 of Diablo. Let's go. Oh my God. Yes.
Never played it.
I played that later in life, but the great thing is like the controls are all set up, right?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Raptor Call of the Shadows, I thought, was published by Apogee. None of their stuff is abandonware. Somebody owns that for sure.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's still exciting in that we don't know what the last 4 arcade carts are. Not arcade. Last 4 carts are for this year. And actually, I think Pete has us on mute. We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I was just talking to myself.
Yeah. I didn't know if you were talking to someone there, but yeah, we didn't hear you.
I'm chill.
But yeah, no, just saying we still haven't, like, I guess what's still exciting this year is finding about the last 4 carts, and that's like depending on what they are. I always say that's like Evercade Blaze, like they'll redeem themselves.
No, the interesting thing about the last 4 carts is if it's actually accurate to the hints that they gave about the carts.
I don't know what were the hints again. I don't remember.
We talked about it last week. They said that one of them was something people have been asking for.
Yeah. So that's the Spectrum collection.
Yeah.
one's expected, one's different. Yeah.
One is something nobody sees coming, but everybody's going to love.
We'll see. One is expected. So Pico 5? Are we on Pico 4 yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
Pico 5, 6, 7, 8. I think Pico, they're either just going to buy Pico or Pico's going to buy them.
Well, there's more Pico collections out there than they're labeled Pico collections. Because Galco Arcade 1, Galco Arcade 2, they're both Pico collections. The Jalico collections, all those Jalico games are owned by Pico. So those are kind of Pico collections as well. All right, I am going to take off because I have to eat.
Yeah, I'm going to go too.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll end it here. Thanks everybody. Did you guys want to talk about what's on your channel next week or anything before you?
Yeah, I just put up Earth Defense 6 on the channel. Been streaming a lot too, so come on over and hang out when I'm streaming. But yeah, just come on over and hang out.
No, I'm a bird.
Oh.
That's great. I will be speaking of streaming, I'll be streaming tonight.
There is one thing I was going to mention. I totally forgot, but I did put up a poll on my channel. I have a poll every week because I was thinking about, I was looking at how I ranked every Evercade collection. I was wondering how like everybody else would have, like as a group would have collectively, and how close my ranking would have been to that. So I'm having kind of like a tournament bracket style thing where I'm.
Oh, are you really? I gotta check that out.
So I'm doing one week, and it'll one a week. So I put up the first one on Wednesday, so I'm going to change that out every Wednesday. I have all the bracket out, so whatever wins this week. So like I'm doing it by year too. So I'm starting with 2000. Then once we do the 2000, all the collections, the 14 and 2000, and we figure out the winner for 2000, I'll move on to 2001, 2002, 2003. And by then it would probably be even 2004 because it's going to be a while before we get to that point. And then maybe I could put up all of those years up against each other and see which one.
Oh, I see what you're doing here. I get it. Okay. Oh, that's
So
pretty interesting.
yeah, I've got my own tournament bracket like on a spreadsheet.
Yeah, and it's probably overly complicated. So better make sure you read his instructions, or he'll get mad at you if you vote wrong.
How are you gonna vote wrong? All you gotta do is pick for the one you like the most. It's as simple as it gets.
Oh, nice. Oh, I forgot one thing. Just let people know I have turned memberships back on my channel if you're interested. So, cool beans. I'm out.
Yep, I'm out. Yeah, I'm not lasting another 40 minutes.
I'm going to sabotage your poll now.
Okay, go ahead. If you can sabotage it, go ahead.
Oh, I'm not here next week. Just let you know. I'm not here next week. So, bye.
Cool. Bye, guys. Thanks, Crash Line, Mr. Shua, Immortal Sojourn, Sucker MC, Ember Cummings, Joe Whitlash.